good, family? It's me, your boy, your urban sports guru. Apologize for not posting as much as I should, but I want to tackle this whole Kwame Brown situation, and I waited because I've seen a whole lot of back and forth, and there's just some parts of it. There's good points made on both sides. I just want to give my piece on it, and my piece is this. One of the things that is happening today in sports, where shout out to MTR Media Tutorials Reviews, and I watched this video today. I just left the gym and on this, and he made some excellent points. Shout out to that brother. I like his content very much. He was talking about how media can shape the views on things, and he was talking about how it can shape a narrative where everyone believes something. All true, 100%. I agree with him. I agree with him 100% on that. Now, my issue with this whole Kwame Brown situation all started from Gilbert Arenas being on the All the Smoke podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, and some things they had to say about Kwame Brown, basically poking fun at him at his career. One of the things I noticed about, and not just, I don't want to paint this solely as Kwame Brown, but just athletes today. There's so many different media outlets, and whenever you critique what it is that they do, they bring it to the more general macro. And we just seen it recently with Russell Westbrook when Stephen A. critiqued him about the triple doubles, and y'all know I feel the same way. I made a video about it. Beware the stat stuffing. I don't give a fuck about numbers in today's basketball. That numbers mean nothing to me. And it's up and down, playing 150 possessions. How don't you get a triple double now? So that's the way I look at numbers now. Numbers mean bupkis to me. So the triple double record means nothing to me. Means nothing. Winning means something. Effectiveness in the game means something to me. I told you this before, and I'm gonna stand on that because I watched again. I just was watching a bunch of playoff games. Just like, even in the playoffs, just up and down and up and down. It looks like a playground game. How do you not stack up stats in that? And when Russell Westbrook was critiqued, it became an argument about who he is in the game of life. This isn't an argument about where you are in the game of life, Kwame Brown, nor with Russell Westbrook. In the game of life, Kwame Brown won. I'm going to say this, let everybody hear. In the game of life, Kwame Brown won. He talked about how he was able to buy his mother a house. You know how much in the minority that makes you? Brothers that come from these kind of communities, they're able to take their athletic status to the point where they're able to monetize it to the degree where they can buy their old folks homes. That's such a very, very small, minute percentage. And the fact that he was able to do that in the sport that he generally, there are certain factors that played into it, I'll get into that in a second, but generally was not good in. But he still was able to monetize it to the point where he was able to buy his folks a house and live comfortably as he's doing now. God bless him for that. So in the game of life, the ultimate game of life, Kwame Brown is a winner. Let me state that first. But in the game of basketball, no one's shaping my narrative. No one's shaping my thoughts. Why? Because I fucking saw it with my own two eyes. In the game of basketball, Kwame Brown was straight dumpster juice. And I don't give a fuck how anyone feels about that. I know what the fuck I saw. In the game of basketball, Kwame Brown was a bust. I'm not blinking. I'm not folding. Kwame Brown was a bust. In the game of basketball, Kwame Brown was a bust. He was the first number one high schooler to be the number one pick. A lot of pressure came with that. He got drafted by Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is proven not to be the best talent evaluator in the game of basketball. He's the greatest player of all time. I don't think that's even a question. He's proven to be not the greatest talent evaluator. And if you came up in the era, you've seen how playing with Jordan or playing for Jordan, how difficult that could be. That's difficult for grown men. If you did not know that, watch The Last Dance. and see the mental strain that he had on established grown ass men. What strain do you think he put on a 17-year-old kid? So when Kwame talks about that, I agree with him. I believe him. Talk about Michael Jordan was an asshole. That's not news. That's not news. Michael Jordan was an asshole. I've yet to hear someone play with him, whether they loved him or not say he was an asshole. So that's not news. I do think he also was a victim of playing in the era. He came in the era like where the high schoolers were still coming in. See, now the NBA is so watered down. Being a one and done, everybody's all one and dones. You're not playing against that many grown men. So many guys are still on that rookie contract within their first 4 years. In today's basketball, this is how watered down, the up and down and all of that. He came when he still had to play against grown men. So he's a 17-year-old kid having to play against grown men. That also was a factor. I think if you pluck him 17 years old with those athletic gifts that he had in today's NBA, he can at least be an 11-8 guy. Anybody who's 6'11", 260, athletic, can run the floor, can leap. If you just be a decent roll man to the basket, you could be an 11-8 guy. Also, a bit of a victim of the era he played in. Played in the wrong era. But the fact of the matter is, when you are picked number 1 in the draft, there are expectations. Let's just call it what it is. There are expectations. Let's not pander and coddle and no. There are expectations, dude. Much is given, much is expected. Much is given, much is expected. He was the number 1 pick in the draft. You pick someone the number 1 pick in the draft, you at the very least, you're hoping for a superstar. You're hoping for a franchise center. At the very least, if you can get someone who's a perennial all-star. In today's NBA, I think that's the most you could really ask for, because superstars don't grow on trees. They don't. There's very few players in today's game that could be the number 1 guy in a championship team. There's very, very few. Very, very few. In today's NBA, who could be the number 1 guy in the championship team? Today, I think with the right team, I think, of course, LeBron James. I think, of course, Kevin Durant. I think, of course, Steph Curry. I think he's still there. I think that's 3. Joel Embiid. Who could be that now? Not growing into it now. I think Steph Curry's shown he could still be that. He just he has no one. And if I was going to get, Kawhi. Kawhi has shown that. That's 5 guys off the top of my head. That's 5 guys. That's it. It's over 400 players in the NBA. Out of All-Stars, there's 24 All-Stars every year. So only 5 of those guys are capable of being that. 5 of those guys. And now, with the super team era, these guys are coming together. Maybe with the right squad, you can add Anthony Davis to that. Matter of fact, that's 6. That's 6 guys. In the super team era, those guys are coming together. So it's very difficult. It's very difficult along that, because you got to have a super squad to beat a super squad. But my thing is, when the critique is basketball, and he started talking all this kind of crazy shit, and talking about with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. Maybe you don't know, Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, they with the shits, man. I'm not saying you're not. Ball accounts, there's things that's showing that you are, but they are too. And what I don't respect, you calling out Steven Jackson's alleged gang affiliation. What the fuck is this? The Get Indicted hotline? This what we doing now? This what we doing? What the fuck is this? 1-800 arrest me? This what we doing? Nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. No. Keep it basketball. The critique, you want to critique? In the game of life, Kwame Brown is a winner. But the game of basketball, he's a bust. When you pick someone number one and they don't become that, like I give you another one, Michael Olowokandi. Michael Olowokandi. He ended up milking it and having a prolonged career, being a good, decent role player. Was the center on the team that KG had that they in Minnesota they took to the Western Finals, ultimately lost to the Lakers. Being a defender and a good role player. But when you pick somebody number one, you pick this guy you hoping he could change your franchise. And Michael Olowokandi didn't do that. Now in the game of life, Michael Olowokandi is a winner. Is a winner. In the game of basketball, he's a bust. I'm not going to take offense about someone calling out something that is factual. Like if somebody responds to, oh, you ain't nothing but a convict. I am an ex-con. Ouch. And? Well, you never was. You never turned pro. I didn't. The facts are what the facts are. The facts are what the facts are. Keep it basketball. When some people make a critique on you and they keep it on the sport that you're playing in, when your sport is in the public eye, that's how you're able to get paid the money to be the winner in the game of life for you to buy Mama Love that house. Let's not forget that shit. Let's not forget that shit. So, keep it basketball. As long as the critiques stay basketball, all that other back and forth, I don't respect what Charlamagne did. I don't respect that shit. But keep it basketball. Their critiques about you were basketball. Mainly Steven Jackson, because he played with Jim Shaw. That was basketball. It wasn't personal. It wasn't personal. What they said about y'all was basketball. Keep it basketball, Kwame. Keep doing what you're doing. Love you. God bless you. Urban Sports Guru. I'm out. Salute.